Good evening. I'm Chase Glover, and welcome to CSTS1 here in Florence, Alabama. The Baltimore Ravens have Super Bowl hopes this season, or at least they did. Their goal of the Super Bowl has seemed to dwindle as they have lost three of their four running backs to serious injuries before the season begins. Their starting running back, J.K. Dobbins, went down in the final preseason game against the Washington football team. Dobbins suffered a torn ACL while on the field, which will leave him out for the rest of the season. Ravens head coach John Harbaugh said, I just wanted to give the offense one series, just to be together. I'm not going to be able to get over it right now. I'll get over it, but I'm not going to right now. After the final preseason game commenced, the next man up became Gus Edwards. Edwards, a fourth-year running back from Rutgers, became the lead back with Justice Hill being the second guy behind him. The next week, Hill tore his Achilles in practice, leaving behind only Gus Edwards and Tyson Williams. At this point, down their starting running back and their special teams starter, the Ravens started working out veteran running backs still in the market, such as Le'Veon Bell, Devontae Freeman, and Latavius Murray. The Ravens did not see a fit at the point to sign anyone, with Gus Edwards still leading the way until a non-contact injury occurred during practice. Edwards, like Dobbins, tore his ACL on a play in practice in which Harbaugh cut short. Now down three running backs, the Ravens look to the three veteran running backs to shape out their backfield. The Ravens, a majority running team that has led the NFL in rushing offense the past 2 years, looks to be reeling from their setbacks before the season. The Super Bowl hopes for the Ravens, Harbaugh, and Lamar Jackson do not look as good as they did before these injuries.
Good evening. I'm DeJuan Garner reporting for CSTS1. This story is a feel-good story that happened a while back, but one that bears repeating. On August 14, 2021, there was some magic in Arizona. Tyler Gilbert made his first career MLB start, and what was to come was something unimaginable. Gilbert had only 3 relief appearances prior to this start, and his only starting experience had come at the AAA level prior to this outing. Going into the game, Diamondbacks manager Torey Lovullo had planned on limiting Gilbert to 85 pitches. According to an article in the New York Times, for today's MLB game, that's usually about 5 to 6 innings of work. However, Gilbert had something special working. Gilbert made it through 7 innings, throwing 88 pitches, and recorded 3 outs in the 8th on only 3 pitches, which is a feat very seldom achieved. Gilbert struck out the first 2 batters in the 9th inning, then Tommy Pham lined out to right field to end the game and secure Gilbert's place in history.
And how about this? The last man standing for the Padres. Center field. Marte. Yeah! It's a no-hitter.
With his performance, Gilbert tossed the 8th no-hitter of the 2021 MLB season and became the 4th pitcher in MLB history to throw a no-hitter in his first career start. When asked what he thought about the game, Gilbert simply responded, "That was crazy." For a Diamondbacks team that entered that game with a league worst record of 38-80, this was truly the highlight of the season to date. If Gilbert can build off this strong outing and pitch well for the rest of the season, he just might find himself in the rotation to open up the season next year. Gilbert was picked up by the Diamondbacks from the Dodgers minor league system during the minor league phase of the Rule 5 draft after the 2020 season. To go from being a Rule 5 pick to throwing a no-hitter in your first career start is nothing short of awesome, and a story that will live on forever in baseball history.
The preseason top 25 does not seem to matter all too much when it comes to college football in the fall. Through the first 2 weeks of college football, 13 top 25 teams lost in one of their 2 opening games. In the first 2 weeks, 6 teams lost to an unranked opponent, causing a massive fluctuation for many teams. There were 4 teams in the preseason top 10 that were upset as well, causing a different array of names at the top of the leaderboards. Teams like Clemson have fallen early, while teams like Oklahoma have had a scare against the likes of Tulane early on. The AP poll comes out every Sunday, which has been shuffling around the top 10 a lot in the first 3 weeks. However, the AP poll is constructed by media members, coaches, and strength of schedule for teams. The CFB Playoff Committee actually configures the legitimate top 25, but they do not start that procedure until the middle of November, closer to the conference championship. There are only 15 teams left that are undefeated in the AP poll through week 3, but look for more to lose that title.
Saturday, September 4th, the Atlanta Braves achieved defeat done only one time before. Ozzie Albies hit his career-high 25th home run in a losing effort against the Colorado Rockies at Coors Field in Colorado. While it was a personal record for Albies, the home run also carried historic significance. With that home run, the 2021 Atlanta Braves infield became only the second group of infielders ever to have all 4 primary starters hit 25 or more home runs. The accomplishment was first achieved by the Florida Marlins, now the Miami Marlins, back in 2008. The infield was highlighted by perennial sluggers Dan Uggla and Hanley Ramirez. This Braves lineup features 2020 National League MVP Freddie Freeman anchoring the group at first base, Ozzie Albies and Dansby Swanson combining to be one of the best double-play duos in the game today at second base and shortstop, respectively, and Austin Riley, who has been one of the hottest hitters in all of the games since the All-Star break. With the woes of the pitching staff, this Braves team will rely heavily on the offense to pick up the slack, and the infield will be the primary source of offense for the club. But why stop at 25 apiece? With how well they've been swinging the bat, the infield could very well become the first in the history of Major League Baseball to each hit 30-plus home runs. The better the boys keep swinging the bat down the stretch, the better the Braves' chances are to win the National League East for a 4th consecutive year and make another deep run in postseason play.
Matt Corral is looking more and more like the #1 option on an Ole Miss offense where Lane Kiffin calls the plays. Corral had 5 games last year with 3 or more passing touchdowns and 1 game with 7. However, the team finished with a 5-5 record to end the 2020 season. This year, the Rebels have started 3-0 on the year, beating Louisville, Austin Peay, and Tulane. They beat Louisville 43-24, Austin Peay 54-17, and Tulane 61-21. Making it a very strong start to their year. In that time frame, Corral has been unconscious, throwing for 9 touchdowns, including 5 against Austin Peay. In the Tulane game, Corral became the very first SEC player to ever have 4 passing touchdowns and 3 rushing touchdowns in one game, which he did all within 3 quarters. Corral now leads the Rebels into the number 13 spot in the AP poll rankings after their decisive Week 3 victory over the Green Wave, who nearly beat the Oklahoma Sooners Week 1, losing 40-35. Corral looks to be a top 3 quarterback to be taken in the first round of next year's NFL draft if he keeps his play up and can lead Ole Miss to a memorable season. Corral and Kiffin are a dynamic duo in Oxford, Mississippi. The way this season is lining up, they can even be a top team in the SEC West if the right people lose and they continue to win. They have a bye week upcoming, and then they start a tough SEC stretch where they start with the #1 team in the nation in Alabama at Bryant-Denny. After that, they'll play Arkansas at home. They'll travel to Knoxville and play Tennessee. They'll play LSU at home, and then Auburn at Jordan-Hare on the road as well. Corral will be put to the test against some of the SEC's best.
September 12, 2021 is the day that Max Scherzer of Los Angeles Dodgers joined some elite company in baseball history. On that day, Scherzer recorded his 3,000th career strikeout with Eric Hosmer of the San Diego Padres being on the wrong side of history. As he was the batter, Scherzer struck out to etch his name in baseball history.
Has the 1. There it is! 3,000 for Scherzer!
When he reached the 3,000th strikeout mark, Scherzer became only the 19th pitcher in Major League Baseball history to accomplish the milestone. Oftentimes, when a pitcher's career is taken into consideration, the number of strikeouts they obtain is a number that is at the top of the list along with the C.Y. Young Awards. Scherzer has 3 of those and is making a push for a 4th this year. Career wins, Scherzer has 188 in ERA, earned run average. Scherzer's career ERA is 3.15. Scherzer has no doubt had a historic career and is still steamrolling through hitters like never before. He shows no signs of slowing down and will be a crucial part of the Dodgers' effort to repeat as World Series champions in 2021. It will be fun to watch the rest of Scherzer's career and see where he ends up on the all-time strikeout rankings, where he currently sits at number 19, only 10 behind Justin Verlander for 18th all-time.
Tom Brady recently turned 44 years old before his 22nd NFL season began this year. However, Father Time is yet to catch up to Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as he has thrown for 9 touchdowns in 2 games to start the season. This is the best start ever for Tom Brady in his career for touchdowns which comes 22 years down the road. Brady and the Bucs start the season with 2 wins over the Cowboys and their divisional rival, the Falcons. He has a current completion percentage of 65, which marks a better average than his career, which sits at 64. After 2 games, Tom Brady's stat line sits at 655 yards through the air, 7.6 yards per completion, 9 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. His first win came in the very first game of the season over Dallas in a game-winning drive that put them on top, 31-29. His second win came this past weekend against the Falcons, winning 48-25 and putting up 20 points in the fourth quarter alone. Tom Brady is coming off a Super Bowl win with the Buccaneers, the first Super Bowl ring he has garnered since leaving the Patriots in 2019. That Super Bowl was also the first time a team has played in their home stadium and won the Super Bowl in that respective stadium. Recently, Tom Brady came out as saying that he potentially could play until he was 50, which would mean problems for the rest of the league.
Team USA and Team Europe are set to tee it up at Whistling Straits Haven, Wisconsin to partake in the 43rd edition of the Ryder Cup. The Ryder Cup was postponed to this date due to the coronavirus pandemic last year. Every 2 years, each country fields a team of 12 golfers that battle it out over 3 days for their country and pride. Each team has certain qualifications for a player to earn a spot on the team. For example, Team USA uses a point system based off of performances in PGA majors and regular tournaments. The automatic qualifiers for Team USA were Colin Morikawa, Dustin Johnson, Justin Thomas, Patrick Cantlay, Brooks Koepka, and Bryson DeChambeau. For the last 6 spots, the captain for Team USA, who is Steve Striker this year, gets to fill the remaining spots with golfers he hand chooses. The captain picks this year were Jordan Spieth, Xander Schauffele, Tony Finau, Scotty Scheffler, Daniel Berger, and Harris English. The European team will comprise the first 4 players from the European points list, followed by the leading 5 players from the world points list and completed by 3 wildcards. Team Europe will feature John Ram, Rory McIlroy, Paul Casey, Matt Fitzpatrick, Tyrell Hatton, Tommy Fleetwood, Victor Howland, Lee Westwood, and Bernd Weisberger as qualifiers. The captain's picks for Team Europe were Sergio Garcia, Shane Lowry, and Ian Poulter. The biggest difference in the teams is experience, as Team USA features 6 rookies, Schauffele, Scheffler, Berger, Morikawa, Cantlay, and English, while Team Europe features only 3 rookies, Lowry, Holland, and Weisberger. As teams compete on one of the hardest courses the world has to offer, will the experience of Team Europe be the deciding factor, or will young guns for Team USA come hungry and ready to play?
Ben Simmons, the former #1 overall pick for the Philadelphia 76ers back in 2016, has declared he will not show up for training camp with the 76ers due to demanding a trade. Last season, the 76ers played the Atlanta Hawks in the second round of the NBA playoffs and came up short. Fans, media, and the 76ers organization pointed towards Simmons being the problem. Simmons averaged only 9.9 points, 8.6 assists, and 6.3 rebounds in that series, which does not bode well for an NBA superstar. The city of brotherly love, coined for Philadelphia, did not show remorse after they berated their star player for not performing better in Game 7 against Trae Young and the Hawks. Simmons managed a mere 5 points on 2 of 4 shooting, but missed free throws and still has not developed a jump shot to the 76ers' liking. Since offseason started, the 76ers organization began looking for ways to move Ben Simmons, but have yet to find anyone due to their high trade value that they are seeking. Simmons has not returned any calls from the 76ers organization and has not been in contact with any of the coaching staff. He demanded a trade this offseason and said that he will not show up until a trade occurs for him. He has been seen working out and shooting more to help establish a better perimeter game, but still wants to leave the organization. 76ers came out and said that they still believe that Simmons should show up for training camp and preseason games, but if he does not, that they will fine him per day. The fine can reach upwards of $300,000 per day for each day he does not show up, which is almost $1 million every 3 days he does not show. The 2021-2022 NBA season will start on October 19th, starting back with 82 regular season games this year.
On Sunday, September 19, 2021, Eddie Rosario of the Atlanta Braves accomplished a feat that his teammate Freddie Freeman did only a month ago. The Atlanta Braves faced off against the San Francisco Giants at beautiful Oracle Park in San Francisco as the Braves looked to avoid a 3-game sweep against the Giants and end a 4-game losing streak overall. Rosario clubbed his second inning, 2-out double, but the Braves were unable to bring him home. In the 5th inning, Rosario smacked a triple into Triples Alley in Oracle Park, but the Braves yet again failed to bring him home as the game remained tied at 0-0. In the top of the 7th, the Braves finally broke through as Adam Duvall hit a 2-run home run, his 36th of the year, to give the Braves a 2-0 lead, only to be followed by a Rosario solo home run to move the Braves' lead to 3-0. Then in the top of the 9th inning, Rosario stepped into the box with history within his reach. Rosario needed only a single to complete the cycle and become the 8th player in Braves history to accomplish the feat. Rosario hit a first-pitch breaking ball from Kervin Castro into shallow center field for a single and completed the cycle. Braves first baseman Freddie Freeman hit for the cycle as well on August 18th against the Miami Marlins. In doing so, Rosario became the 8th player in franchise history to hit for the cycle. He only saw 5 pitches in his 4 at-bats, breaking the record for fewest pitches seen while hitting for the cycle. Nefi Perez previously set the record in 1998, seeing 8 pitches while hitting for the cycle. Rosario must have gone in with the mentality of see ball, hit ball. Whatever he did, it worked to the Braves' advantage. Each time Rosario takes the field, he looks more and more like the most valuable asset the Braves acquired at the trade deadline. Will the Braves use this big win as fuel for the stretch run to the end of the year? Only time will tell, but I know Braves country is keeping their fingers crossed. That brings our broadcast to a close. I'm DeJuan Garner signing off for myself and my partner Chase Glover. Thank you all for tuning in to CSTS1 and have a great rest of your day.